And we are going to talk about PR with the situation in Gaza, because I think it's a key element in all of this, kind of the public perception. Welcome, welcome, and tell us a line
Thanks
about
so much
yourself.
for having me. Well, you know I write books, PR for Dummies being one of them. I've written books on leadership, and I run Ericho Communications, a PR agency, for the past 2 decades.
Eric Yaverbaum.
And I am happy to be back, and I love your boots, too.
Oh, thank you, Eric. All right. Terrific.
That's great PR for whatever brand of boot that is.
I'm thinking of putting little
They're not a
pictures
client.
on it. No. I'm thinking of like designing my own boot wear, because a lot of times in the strategy, I wear a lot of boots in the wintertime because it's just yucky here on the East Coast, you know, and you want to protect your nice shoes. So thank you, Eric. And you know what? He's got me on my game this morning, because only the PR guy would tell me to work in my boots until...
These situations in the world, they become battles of PR and public perception. I mean, and like you say here at Fox, where you're at every day, is the Israelis don't make a big deal out of it. Actually, they do make a big deal out of it. It's just we get the same press release every day for 8 years. You stop, the world loses interest. There's so many places, I mean, not just here, that there's tragic circumstances, and what we do is we don't know what you know. We know what we read, we know what we see, perceptions are formed on it. You know, Israel's so terrible, while you say, and I agree, commend them for their restraint, because we all know of their military might. They could, I mean, this could be, they could wipe out the whole region if they wanted to yesterday. They did, but that's not going to be the story. The story is going to be these pictures of children and all the tragedy, and whoever does that best wins the war of public perception, and that's the real war, and that's sad.
But all we...
I know, but it's a better story. It's like, why do tabloids sell so well?
Well, yeah.
That's the more interesting story to people, not... I mean, what is it about human shields? We all get that.
But got to play into their hands and blow up the schools, right?
All right,
let's agree with that. Come on, that's obvious.
I know, but what do you...
Let's agree with that, of course.
All of us who are just, you know, we haven't been there, you have. From my perception is, of course, it's tragic. It's absolutely tragic.
Thanks.
But what do you do? I don't know anything about military. God knows if I was there, I would be shot for life, literally. You were. What do you do? Because we all get human shields, and we know that happens. What do you do if you're on the other side? Yeah, I mean, strategically speaking.
Kind of choke up on these directional mics here.
Oh, I'm
Sit
sorry.
A little bit
You know, I have such a big mouth. I didn't know I have to be anything
No,
near
no,
that. If anybody hasn't noticed, like, get that guy to shut up.
Okay, we know now.
Yeah, strategically speaking, in any conflict, you want to, in developing your strategy, the first thing that you do is look at life through lens of the other side. So you do need to completely understand the other side. Otherwise, you won't win the PR battle. But, you know, I make a living doing this, but it makes me sick that PR has anything to do with what's going on there, because it's absolutely tragic, and I think
Perception has always had some, even before they had moving pictures.
Look, again, hey, I
even
paid my mortgage
days,
based on perception,
even
but...
in the Gladiator days, they had to, win some fans before they could...
When I was younger, I was in a meeting, and I won't name the agency, but they were the agency of record for the U.S. government during Desert Storm. And it was
that ought to narrow it down.
It was the first time, well, there were several. It was the first time that I said, what do you mean we have a PR firm? That the news is being packaged back to us. And it was like enlightening me that, well, everybody does this. I hate that. And I make a living doing it. I hate it. I'd rather do it for widgets than I would for war.
But, I think
it's over.
Think about what you just said, though.
But now everybody's got to try to win the PR war.
Yeah, but it's not just the colonel. They have a trained spokesperson. Right. Now I got a colonel over here who was so articulate about an issue that some of us didn't understand before. They got their trained spokesperson. That person really has to do a good job at delivery. If the colonel can, and that's not his job, then certainly the paid spokesperson ought to be able.
It's not illegal. It's just
you're out of business.
You're out of business.
You have a right to that money.
Here's the thing: is that if you're running a small business in this country, and when you give that payroll check, the taxes are likely coming out, so the taxes are being paid. They don't have the cash in the bank for you. They're telling you that. So you got two choices. Do you want the company to stand the chance to survive to tomorrow or not? Companies are in trouble. Their cash flow stinks. They can't make their payrolls, and they're being honest, and they're telling them they need a backup plan. And everybody's got to know is don't corporate America, don't count on your check. That's why
Oh,
entrepreneurs
but
can do.
that's so not fair.
Yes,
though.
no, it is. That's
It's
fair.
so not fair.
Everybody
Most of
who
us
gets a check
are not in the position not to count on our checks.
No, I'm not saying that.
Come
I'm
on,
just saying
Eric.
that look at the mindset of an entrepreneur. The entrepreneur will figure out a way to make $1 tomorrow, as opposed to the lifelong corporate executive who's going to count on his pension, on his paycheck, and guess what? The company's gone.
Okay, all right. And Eric Yaverbaum with, hold up one of your books.
Which
PR
one?
for
Which
Dummies.
one?
PR for Dummies. We love. We've got the Colonel Timothy Ringgold, who is